going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and it is that time of the year again. Amazon Prime Day starts now. Well, actually it starts tomorrow at the time of recording, so I don't actually know what's all going to be for sale, what they're going to have for deals, but regardless, if you're looking to shop anything on Amazon, be sure to use that link down in the description. You don't even have to click a certain one, search whatever you want, and it will help the channel. So if you want to help support the channel, just click that link and order anything you want. But we are going to go through a few things that maybe you've been putting off, or some things that may be on sale and you can just check it out regardless. But there's some things that every crypto miner should have, others that maybe you need for backups and you just never thought of it, or you know about it but it totally slipped your mind, and all sorts of stuff. So we're just going to go through some items that miners should have, and maybe it'll be on sale, maybe it won't. I'm not actually sure. Maybe you're actually running low and this will remind you, being like, oh yeah, I might need some more of those. Now we're going to start here with number one, and the main thing every crypto miner should have is one of these, a watt meter, because then you can actually test your power consumption on your GPUs, little ASICs, whatever it is, anything that uses power for 120 volt, use one of these, and then you don't have to rely on websites and stuff, which are usually wrong anyway, as well as your software. So number one here is obviously the most popular, is the watt meter. So like the watt meter, this is exactly the same thing, but this one is designed for 200 volt plus. It can use it on 120 also, but those other ones, they're for 120, 110 regardless. This is what you're going to need when you start getting into your big 30 amp, 220 volt, 240 volt, whatever you run, depending where you're located. But you're going to need like a meter box here to put it in, or possibly you can find some type of other box to use. But you're going to need this part right here. This is your Drock meter that will be reading your power, as well as an L6 plug, which does work with most of the PDUs out there. So here we have our Drock meter and your L6 plug for your meter box type of setup. Now if you're looking to silence some type of big miner, you are going to need one of these AC infinity fans. So that's another one that could be on the list. Also as well, these silencers can be found on Amazon as well. So these two together will be down there. Also the hose. Yeah, you also need a hose if you feel like you're going to exhaust it somewhere. So that's definitely something you're going to have to keep your eyes on. So we're going to look at some of the CPU mineable stuff now. Now one is obviously your Pico switches. You got your 350 watt Picos. You can also get 400 watt Picos as well, which I haven't tested yet. I do have one, but I haven't tried it out. But these are the 350 watts, which you use to run CPU mining rigs off server power supply. So that's definitely a must-have for some people. But keep in mind, you're going to have to change the ends. It looks like none of them are that great. So you will need these Anderson plugs, which I also picked up on Amazon. So Anderson plugs, a Pico, depending on the power intensity that you do run these at, super overclocking, maybe just base clock. It all depends how you run your rigs, is the amount of power that's going through them. We got these 24-pin motherboard splitters. These are definitely a great thing to have if you're trying to run two CPU mining rigs off a single ATX power supply. So that's a must-have there. Now you can go two routes. Now obviously look for PSUs. I don't know what's going to be on sale, remember, but you're going to need some PSUs. Maybe Amazon Prime will have some ATX PSU sales, but with that will become CPU mining splitters. So this is the fan cable. That's not what I was pointing at. I meant this guy right here. This is a CPU pin. That's your power for your CPU. The 8 pins, you can get splitters for these to split them up, but depending on the power supply you use, you might not need this as long as your power supply does have 2 CPU outputs. That way you don't have to worry about the splitter, but some of them only got the 1 CPU output, so you will need a CPU splitter, which I actually have right in this one right here. You can see I'm actually splitting this one going into the two. So this is the 8-pin splitter right here. One's going to this rig, one is going to that rig, and that's how I power these off the PSUs that only have a single CPU output. So again, you may or may not need this depending on the power supplies you're actually getting if you're running the ATX style. Over here we do have some extra parts. So obviously if you're running 200, 240 volt and so on, you're going to be using a PDU, and it's always nice to have extra PDU cables, because it sucks when you order rigs and realize, oh no, I don't have any cables to actually power my rig. So extra cables for the PDU is good. Same thing when it does come to your Ethernet, internet, you know, your internet cable things here, it is nice to have a bunch of extra of them as well, because it also sucks if one either goes down or you get some rigs together and you don't have the cables for it. So Ethernet cables here is also a must-have of extra. Now, a couple things that are more of wants, definitely not needed, is a decibel meter. You can see how loud things are. Most people are not going to need this, but it might be something you just want to have hanging around. Here's a thermal camera. I've used this lots in the past, but this thing will focus. What's going on here? There we go. So here's a thermal camera. This is a nice little thing, plugs straight into your cell phone. You can take images as well as video with this, and you can see if there's any leaking air, hot areas in your house or something. So again, the thermal camera is definitely a want, and it is handy to have. Here we do have a temperature and humidity gauge. You know, you may or may not want one of these, but they do come in handy to tell if why your rigs may be going down. Your ambient temp could be pretty high. So there's a nice thing, as well as this toolkit right here. Actually, it's a screw set. It has everything you need for your motherboard standoffs. It has your M2, M3, all sorts of screws. It has pretty much everything you need for motherboards. I like these only for one specific screw, and that's to screw in these stands for my CPU mining rigs, which I see I have there. Now, I don't think they have, someone makes these on Amazon or not, but you can print these out. If you have a 3D printer, you can print these out for free in my Discord. I do have the files linked that anyone can download and just print your own off. So, you know, this is very cheap. And speaking of 3D printing, filament is definitely, might end up being on sale. I don't know, but if you have a 3D printer, you're going to need more filament so that you can print more stuff. So definitely want to check that out as well. All right, guys, so it is just a quick one to run through some things that you may or may not need or forgot you need, or vice versa, and maybe some things to check out. Again, I have no idea what's going to be on sale, but as of the release of this video, Amazon Prime Days is starting now. So check it out. Again, be sure to use that link down in the description before you order anything, even if it's a freaking car cover or something. You know, it does work. So, and it'll help me out at no extra cost to you guys. But those are the majority of things that I usually end up finding and getting most of the time. You know, 3D printing filament, you know, those Ethernet cables. We got the screw box there. I think I have 3 or 4 of them because I keep going through them all while I build out my rigs. You know, we got the PDU cables, the Picos and stuff, the ends that you got to crimp there as well. I forgot to mention, when it comes to those Anderson plugs, you actually do need a special crimper for them, and that's this guy right here. You do need the special crimper in order to crimp those ends. So I'll have that link down below if you are trying to do a setup like that. But again, I am really enjoying the one ATX PSU to the 2 CPU motherboards. That seems to be my favorite so far. But again, you know, it all comes down to price and what you can find at the time. ATX PSUs are going up in price. They haven't really been that cheap lately. I picked up a lot of these for only 70 bucks, those Rogue Strix ones, 750 watts, but they're upwards of 140 or something now. So maybe they'll be on sale. I don't know. But if they don't start going down in price again, I might start reverting everything back to the server PSUs if I end up building more rigs here. Things are looking pretty crazy as more and more people are building CPUs. That profitability is dropping pretty fast. Anyway, thanks for checking this out, guys. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.